7 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few DST defenses I have as sleepers this week. The first one, the Philadelphia Eagles. So right here, I know I recommended Derek Carr as a start this week, but I just don't think this Raider team's fully out of the woods with John Gruden gone and them turning the page and starting fresh here. But right here, this Philadelphia Eagle team this season, they've shown some flashes of decent fantasy games. Week 5 at Carolina, 16 points allowed, 3 sacks, 3 intos, a block kick. Then I'll go back to week 3 of the tough Dallas team, 35 points allowed, but 4 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown in that game on that fumble recovery. So right here, this Eagle defensive line, still a pretty decent unit in my opinion. And we know Derek Carr sometimes, he likes to gunsling that football, and that's when it gets him in trouble. And he has taken a lot of sacks throughout his career in the last few seasons. So right here, I don't think this Eagle defense is going to be that great of an option, but as a sleeper option and in a pinch, I think they can make a few plays and score anywhere from 7 to 10 fantasy points. The next defense sleeper this week's the New York Jets. So the Jets coming off a bye week. Supposedly, everything is going well over there in Jetland, and they really gelled and built a rapport according to some players and Robert Sauer. But we'll see this week if this Jet defense can make a few plays on the young quarterback Mac Jones. And right here, the only reason I'm recommending the Jets are a sleeper. First of all, they're available in 98% of fantasy leagues. And second of all, the New England Patriots do give up the 4th most fantasy points to defenses this season. And the Jets the last couple weeks haven't played that bad of ball games. Week 3 at Denver, 26 points allowed, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery. Week 4 versus Tennessee, 24 points allowed, but a whopping 7 sacks. And Week 5 versus Atlanta in London, 27 points allowed and 2 fumble recoveries. So in this ball game, I could see the Jets giving up probably 20 to 23 points in this game and maybe getting a few sacks and a turnover or 2. And they're not the worst option in the world. So their defensive sleeper in the third and final defense I have as a sleeper this week's the Seattle Seahawks. I have a lot of Seahawks at different positions as sleeper this week. And this Seahawks defense, I know they're not the Legion of Boom. I know they're not a top 10, 15 defense at all this season. But this New Orleans Saints offense, in honesty, I don't think they're the greatest of offenses of either. And we don't know what Jameis Winston is going to show up, honestly. Obviously, we've seen Winston have great games throughout his career. And then we've seen games where he's just chucking it down the field and throwing 3 or 4 interceptions. So right here, we know the ball game's in Seattle. We know the 12th man, obviously the crowd's going to be loud in that game. And I think this defense could make a few plays or at least get a few sacks on Jameis Winston. So I got them as a sleeper this week. So that's a few defenses I have as sleepers for Week 7 of the fantasy football season.